Well, as promised, this is the third of 4 reviews for the Creatureplica action figures. Today we're taking a look at the Horrorhound. Here's the figure right here. It's a really great figure. Really like it. I'm going to get more in-depth into the review here in a second. But first, I'm going to give a little background on the Horrorhound. Apparently, it is a Frankenstein's monster / zombie werewolf type creature. It's actually the mascot for a horror magazine, which is called Horrorhound. And the backstory on it is it was a soldier in World War II named Warren who was killed and was brought back to life by the Nazis, and it was stitched back together, I guess, and now serves as a kind of a zombie werewolf type. Apparently haunts a part of Ohio. I can't remember what part, but very fascinating backstory. Anyway, that's the figure. Now we're going to take a look at the packaging. And as you can see here, we have the packaging. You can see the very intimidating looking face of the Horrorhound behind the blister card. You can see the full moon right here. And there's really not much of a background like there was on the Yeti and the Sasquatch, but still, I mean, this is a very fascinating fictional cryptid, and it seems to be well received. At least the figure does, and the character as well. So, again, the packaging, I don't think there's much difference in this packaging. There really isn't, especially on the back. So, there you go. And of course they're on these blister cards, these collectible. I think the blister cards are just as collectible as the figures themselves, if you really want to be honest about it. Anyway, that's the card. Now let's take a closer look at the figure. As you can see, we have the figure here. It appears to be, I tried to get it to kind of cross its arms, and didn't quite cock its head to the side a little bit. You can actually do that with this head much better than you can with the Yeti or even the Sasquatch. And of course, it does have the full range of motion. We have the arms, which go all the way around. That bends at the elbows. The wrists. Now, I have to say, the wrist joints on this are a whole lot better than on the Yeti and the Sasquatch. It has full range of motion in the wrists. It can bend the wrist forward or backward. It can twist around, and has the swivel bicep, of course. It also has the great articulation at the waist, and the great, right here we have the ratcheted hip joints. One other thing we have here is swivel thighs. It swivels at the thighs, and that's a little feature as well. It actually swivels at both thighs. And you can see all the detail. I'm going to go into the details that are on this figure here in a little bit. Full range at the knee, but also, much like a dog or a wolf or a canine type creature, you can also bend it like that. There's an area on the shin where it's very. We have the articulated feet. They're able to pivot, much like on the Sasquatch and the Yeti. When it has 4 toes, you notice, and of course you notice these toenails, and of course the claws on the hands. Now, as far as the details, oh my gosh, this thing's got some great detail on it. You can probably see right here it appears to have, I mean, its guts are literally hanging. You can see what appears to be its intestines right in there. Here's something right here, it looks like bullet holes. Looks like this thing's been shot. and apparently was not affected. Looks like some bullet holes right there as well, and looks like an area that's a little bit open. You can kind of see musculature underneath there, or kind of the sinewy structure of the character. You can see little parts where it's stitched together, right in here, right here, right through here, here on the and on the arms and the wrists. And of course they didn't leave off the details on the back. You can see the bullet holes on the back as well. You can see more stitching to be another type of hole right there. I don't know if that's a bullet hole or not. A little bit of meat seems to be missing from here. And this figure is terrifying. This figure is very intimidating looking. Oh, and we don't want to forget about the base that it came on. Very, very great base. You can see comes with a tombstone. The soldier was named Warren. This is his tombstone. Came on a base kind of similar to the Sasquatch, the North American Sasquatch. Darker colored. And this is more of a cemetery or graveyard setting. And the base, of course, is really well done as well. So, this is a terrific figure. This and the Rougarou are my favorite ones out of the line. This one was just so well done. I am extremely impressed with this one and the Rougarou, because both of them actually have the same type of articulation, although the Rougarou has a little bit more added elements. And when I go into my review of that tomorrow, I'll show you those elements that the Rougarou figure has. But wow, what a great figure this one is. Oh my goodness. You know, I'd requested originally the Sasquatch and the Yeti, and I don't know, didn't seem like I was all that interested in the Rougarou and the Horrorhound, but I got them. The Rougarou and the Horrorhound turned out to be my favorite ones out of this line. I mean, this is just terrific. You may, if you look real close, you can see veins on the back of the hand right there. You see the veins running through the arm. I mean, Gene St. Jean, he really gave this some great detail. And you know, he could have cut corners with this, but my gosh, he did such a tremendous job. He really did. Now, this figure and the Rougarou are actually taller than the Yeti and the Sasquatch straight up. You see, if you stand them fully straight up, this figure and the Rougarou are taller than the Sasquatch and the Yeti. And my goodness, I got to give this one a perfect 5 out of 5. It is a tremendous figure. I love the hair details right here, and looks like it's got a bit of a peak to the hair on the head right there, and hair on the shoulders, on the back of the arms. You see some hairs. You can see the hairs on the ankles right in here. This is a great figure. Now, even if you don't pick up the Sasquatch and the Yeti from this line, at least got to pick up the Rougarou and the Horrorhound. I have to say, I'm more impressed with these figures than I am with the Sasquatch and the Yeti. And that's surprising, because I thought, being so heavily, you know, into Sasquatch, I would like those more. But I turned out liking the Rougarou and the Horrorhound a lot more. It turned out I was more impressed with the werewolf figures than I was with the hairy hominids. So anyway, tomorrow's going to be the final review of this series. That's going to be the Louisiana Rougarou. So until then, y'all be good or be good at it.